Hello guys, today we're going to be talking about how to improve your speaking by yourself, not using any expensive methods, not using any like native speakers, coaches, teachers, all this sort of stuff. Only our brute force, only our mouth and our brain. So basically when it comes to learning languages, what everybody actually wants to learn is how to speak, how to communicate in this language because in my opinion, it's the most important part, right? We want to communicate our thoughts, and that's our end goal, right? That's the goal that we're striving to reach. And so it is very, very important that we understand how to actually achieve this goal and how to kind of realize our dream. And so I'm going to tell you about 3 exercises that I personally use in order to achieve this goal because I can say with confidence that my kind of fluency and my speaking ability in English is kind of okay. I can record this video, for example, and talk to you guys about this topic. I can also talk to native speakers without any kind of embarrassment and just feel good in my own skin. And so basically we have 3 exercises, like my favorite exercises that I use personally when it comes to learning how to speak fluently and how to improve your speaking in general. And the first exercise, of course, is shadowing. The shadowing technique is probably one of my favorite exercises when it comes to learning English because it's just so simple and you don't have to do basically anything. I would even go as far as to say that you are not struggling a lot because you are not using any kind of brain power. You're just repeating the words after a native speaker. There's a couple of variations how you can use this exercise. What I like to do in particular, I just like to shadow some YouTube videos, right? Because I'm actually a YouTube addict. This is my like guilty pleasure. I like watching YouTube. Yeah, so basically I will choose from a couple of YouTubers that I watch in English, right? And I will just download this video in an audio format so I can get it on my phone, and then when I walk outside, for example, or when I just feel like it, for example, I have, I don't know, 10-15 minutes at home, I can just shadow this video. I can shadow the words that the native speaker is saying. The second tip how you can improve your speaking ability is to read out loud. And actually I haven't been seeing a lot of advice on this tip in particular because in my opinion a lot of guys overlook this method because it seems very simple, and for a lot of people it doesn't really make sense to just read something out loud, but in my opinion it's actually really, really helpful because again, you kind of train your muscles, you train your mouth to pronounce all the necessary words, and it can be like this whole experience overall can be very, very rewarding because you're consuming content at the same time. For example, right now I'm reading The Name of the Wind for the second time. In my opinion, this book is excellent for any English level. This book is just so captivating, and the author uses really simple words to describe everything. And you can find this book on the internet. You don't have to buy it in the shop. For example, if you have an e-reader like I do, you can just download it. There are websites that can provide you this service. And so yeah, you can just open the book, and how I like to do it, I personally prefer to do like a little bit of shadowing in the beginning. For example, I will shadow for 15 minutes, like a couple of YouTube videos or whatever, and then I'll just start reading because the shadowing technique helps me to warm up, like kind of get used to pronouncing English words, and then I just start reading by myself. Of course, there are a couple of cons with this method because you don't always know the correct pronunciation of all the words. And yeah, it can be tricky, but I just tell myself that, okay, even if right now I'm pronouncing this particular word incorrectly and I don't even know about it because I don't have any like audio in the background, I'm just, reading out loud. I'm doing it by myself. I'm just telling myself, okay, I will come across this word eventually at some point in the future, and I will have this aha moment. I will tell myself, oh, that's how it's pronounced. Okay, I got it now. And so this is like my coping mechanism, how to deal with this particular anxiety. So don't worry about that. And the third method, how you can improve your speaking by yourself, is by speaking. Yeah, thanks, genius. Yeah, and what I mean by that is you just speak to yourself. And the way I like to do it, especially now, because I don't have like any English teachers right now, I'm kind of on my own in this journey. I'm studying the language without any outside help. I just like to speak to myself. Like I would go outside for a little walk, find like a quiet place. It really helps if there is some nature around you as well. And I just start talking about my day. Maybe I have some troubles with my relationship. Maybe, I don't know, I have some problems at work or whatever. And I would just describe it and I would talk about whatever I want. I would imagine a person that is sitting in front of me, and I would just kind of pour my soul and talk about everything I want. And you can use artificial intelligence in this particular method because there is a very great AI out there that can help you with this. It's called Sesame. I'll put a link in the description. Not sponsored, by the way. I mean, come on, I have 24 subscribers. This AI is actually great for practicing English. You can choose from two people to talk to. I think the first guy is Miles and the girl is Mila, if I'm not mistaken. And so how I like to do it is I open the AI, I choose the person, I like to talk to Miles because obviously I'm a guy and it just simpler for me to talk to a guy. In my head, I'm imagining that we're boys, we're best friends and whatnot. The important thing about this method is that you can actually get some feedback. You can ask Miles or Miley about anything in the world. You can ask it to help you with vocabulary. For example, I would choose a topic. I would tell him something like, yo, bro, today we're going to be talking about globalization. Of course, I do know that I kind of lack knowledge in this particular area. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but let's discuss it. Can you give me 5 random facts about our planet? And so then I kind of steer the conversation wherever I want. This is basically my 3 main methods that I use, and you can use these methods that I listed, and I believe you will improve your speaking significantly and you'll be able to talk about whatever you want. I sincerely hope that my advice helped you guys. If you liked the video, leave some comments, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you very much for watching.